Let's talk about Venmo, but for governments. So if you can remember a time before Venmo, if you wanted to pay a friend, you would have to show up to your bank, make a withdrawal in cash, and physically find your friend in person and hand over that cash. Now, of course, you might be able to make a wire transfer with your bank, but those were typically slow, not very easy to use. You couldn't just pop on your app and slide over some money real quick like you can with Venmo. And so when Venmo came out, it just made friend-to-friend transactions super seamless, super cheap, super easy. And so the way that Bitcoin works, it's almost like Venmo, but for governments and banks. As it stands right now, most governments use a platform called Swift to make international payments. So if you're going to use that platform, you have to abide by the regulations of that banking platform. The interesting thing about banks and governments switching over to Bitcoin is that it basically gives the functionality and ease of use of Venmo, but for these large institutions. So instead of having to follow certain regulations, Bitcoin is politically agnostic, meaning it doesn't matter what religion, what nationality, doesn't matter if you're blue or red. Bitcoin is just code, so it doesn't care who's using it. You can send Bitcoin back and forth between friends, or you can have governments sending millions, if not billions of dollars over the Bitcoin network without any regulatory oversight. And so for governments that are, shut out of Swift, have a trade embargo placed on them, or are being forced to use the dollar as a reserve currency, Bitcoin provides a huge side channel, basically an off-grid way of making transactions that basically makes it like Venmo, but for governments.